excited to be talking here with Amber Melville of Maryland, USA. And Amber is a three-time NCAA All-American in the sport of track and field, indoor and outdoor, in the high jump event. And Amber is also one of the few people in the world who is both a Big Ten champion and an ACC champion, which is something pretty cool. Amber graduated from the University of Maryland in 2015 in 4 years, graduated on time while being a three-time All-American and a conference champion in two different conferences while at the same school. And she continues to compete at the international level, went to the World Trials in 2015, and is working hard to keep going in the sport that she loves. So thank you for being with us here today, Amber.
You're welcome. I'm excited.
So it is great to see you and great to talk with you. And I want to just kind of get started by talking about your transition to college. I think a lot of people look at someone who's been as successful as you and they think, well, Amber's just special. Like, she's just great. And you know, we know that no one's success is ever guaranteed. No one ever knows that their risk is going to pay off. And so I want to kind of hear from you, like, what was it like to step up to that next level? Like, how was that transition for you?
So the transition for me was actually extremely difficult. I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew that I went into an academic enrichment program, which is a program that would help me with school. And I really did not want to do that because I felt like people would judge me for not being as smart as everybody else. And Maryland is known as a prestigious school that only the smartest of the smartest kids can get into. So when I first did that, I was kind of nervous and I didn't know what to expect. But there were actually a bunch of athletes that were in the same program as me, so I kind of felt a lot more comfortable. But for me, school and track-wise, it was extremely difficult. Like I said, I didn't know what to do at times, and I just needed to find a way to relieve a lot of stress. And for me, it was figuring out what that little niche was. It actually was running for me, which is really rare because a lot of people hate running, but just relieving the stress by being able to just go out and do a big or run or just be able to just relieve that stress that I had really helped me to get through what I needed to get through. But honestly, it was probably the hardest thing to do was to transition from a high school to a college level, because in high school, the coaches just want you to do whatever it takes to get the points that they need. But in college, you're really focusing on those specific events that you were either pulled in from the coach or you were scouted for, so and recruited for. Sorry, I can't even speak. But honestly, I cried at practice almost every day for the first 2 months because what my coach was doing was breaking me down but building me back up. And at times I didn't know what to do because I was like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Like, I'm a mess, but I knew what I wanted. And I knew that I was not ever going to give up and I was going to push myself through. But my coach definitely helped me a lot. And he knew exactly what I needed to do because once he saw me come over to him, he was like, Amber, we're going to do some running. And I was like, good. Like, that's all I need to do. All I need to do is just go run. Give me some 200s. He gave me a 400 once, which I was not happy about.
I heard that you did not embarrass yourself in that.
No,
400.
I actually did run 400s in high school, which I'm thankful for my coaches that they pushed me to do. Actually, I liked that event. Not saying I'd do it, but
you did it pretty darn well.
Yes. So it was something that it just helped me. And not everybody's going to find the same thing to relieve stress. And everybody just needs to find that glitch and figure out what really helps them. And it's not going to be the first thing you try. It's going to be definitely the one you have to keep trying and trying. But once you find it, you'll definitely know. And you'll instantly know and you'll feel, oh, okay, well, I definitely now need to go for a run or go read a book or go eat some food, healthy food, if you're training. But it's okay to not feel like no one's around and no one else is going through the same thing, because let me tell you, I guarantee there is someone else in this world that's going through the same exact thing. And I know you probably feel like, well, no one around me, like no one's going to understand me. And that's when you can either go talk to somebody, and you're probably hesitant to even think, oh, why am I going to go talk to somebody? I don't need someone else. I got my friends. But honestly, you have to remember, people like to talk, people like to say things. And if you're not comfortable with the people that are around you, you can always go and talk to somebody else. I'm not saying your friends aren't the best people to talk to, but I'm just saying that it is okay, and it is fine sometimes to hear an outside voice when you're going through a lot. And it doesn't matter what you're going through, school, life, or sports. They'll be there for you. And it might feel like a big train just hit you when you went in from high school to college. And some people transition different than others, and you have to focus on yourself. And it is hard to focus on yourself during these times, because you see the frat parties, you see everyone going out on a Tuesday night or a Thursday night, which is rare in high school. I mean, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but you have to know what you want in life. And whatever you know what you want in life, and you know you're having fun with it, continue to do it. When it comes a point when you're not having fun, that's when your life starts to not be okay, and you start being depressed, or you start doing things that you didn't think you would ever do. So just make sure that you stay focused on what you want. And things aren't always going to come right away. That's not how life is. You're not going to magically have $1 million, or you're not magically going to win NCAAs. It's something you have to work towards, and it's something that's a progress, and it's a process that you need to get through.
Absolutely. Well, so one step in that process for you, I know, was your freshman year, indoor ACC.
Yes.
You went to this big meet. Like, this was a big, intimidating meet for a freshman. And you went into this meet and you got so immersed in the act of competing that you didn't even notice that you were in place for a podium finish. Like, can you talk about that meet a little bit? Like, what that was like for you, where you were at?
Honestly, I think I didn't actually realize how big ACCs were. Like, I honestly was thinking NCAAs. Like, I didn't even realize how big ACCs or any conference meet was until I actually started competing. But I actually did not think of it as a big meet, which actually helped me a lot, because when I went, I was like, you know what? It's just another meet. I just have to go and compete and worry about myself, because as soon as I start worrying about everybody else, your mind's, and it's honestly, track is a mental game. So if your mind's not there, then you're not going to be there at all, like completely not there. And you just want to make sure that you're focusing on yourself and what you need to do. At the same time, you need to have that competitive edge to go out there and beat everybody else. When I was in competition, I literally sat there. I was like, just another meet. Just another meet. I'm going to sit there. Oh, this girl went. Okay, so what? I'm going to beat her. I'm going to get to the next height. And if I didn't, okay, I know what I need to work on. And I think that's what pushed me also. I saw everyone else doing this and that, and I was like, you know what? That's where I want to be at, and that's what I want to do. But it wasn't something, like I said, that just happened overnight. I had to push for it and work for it, and that's when I started setting my goals and keeping my mind focused. I mean, there are times that I was way too focused, which couldn't be bad, because you need to make sure you're balancing your life with social, friends, family, school, especially school, and making sure you stay on top of things. But that meet, I literally just focused on myself and did what I needed to do, and I didn't even realize that I was actually that I actually had a third place and a place on this podium, and it didn't hit me until after I received my medal, and I realized like, oh my gosh, this is actually a huge deal. But when you think of things in a smaller context, it kind of helps you to not be overwhelmed with the pressure, everybody around you, and the crowd, and your parents, and your friends, and your teammates, because track is individual but a team as well. So that's what helped me, definitely.
I think that's awesome, and that's that smaller context that you were talking about is just this total task focus. Like you were just jumping, you were just going out there, and you were gonna clear the next height, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you were doing what you loved, and it was just task by task, and that total task focus is something that we know
Hmm.
is one of the greatest assets in high performance.
Yeah,
And it's also a mentality that can be hard to maintain because there's so many distractions that get in the way of thinking about the task at hand. So could
exactly.
you talk a little bit more about how you sustained that over the course of your college career?
Yeah, I actually had a huge issue with this. I mean, still to this day I do, but honestly, I think the best thing is when there's so much going on around you, it's better to condense it and to know where you are personally and where you like are thinking and what you're going to do next, and don't think about what's going to happen in the future. Think about now, like especially like me talking to you. I just need to think about what I'm going to express to these young athletes that are moving on. I'm not going to think about what I'm going to do in the morning when I have to go to work. It's just you have to condense it to what you're doing in the moment. Because if you think otherwise, you're going to be, oh my gosh, well, I need to get this, or oh my gosh, I need to jump this, or I need to run this time, or my coach isn't going to like if I don't do this. If I, oh my gosh, these people are watching me, but I have to beat this girl. Oh my gosh, I competed against this girl. She's so good. It doesn't matter what someone did before. It's matter what it the only thing that matters is what happens at that moment. You cannot control what other people can do. You can only control what you can do. And if you control what you able to happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. Controlling what you can control and letting go what you can't. I love it.
Exactly. And I know kids, especially young athletes, have big problems with that. So just staying focused and not worrying about what anything else is happening around you, just focusing on you is the key to achieving what you really want.
And so hard to do.
Yeah.
And yet, over the course of 4 years, you kept at it. You kept doing it. You kept putting the work in, making the sacrifices,
Hmm.
and consistently getting to a higher and higher level of performance. And so I know that something that you were really excellent about was setting a variety of goals
Hmm.
and consistently reminding yourself of those goals. And could you talk a little bit about how you work with goals in your
Yeah.
college career?
So my freshman year, when I was going through a hard time, I really didn't know what to do. I was literally thinking of everything and anything. And I was like, I just need to figure out something that is going to help me to stay focused every day. And people would say, oh, write your goals down, write your goals down. I was like, why? Like, I have them in my head. I don't need that. Like, I already know what I want and I'm going to go get it. But it's taking that extra step. Honestly, the littlest things can help in the biggest ways. So I decided, why not? You know what? I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to get a poster board and I'm going to write what I want to accomplish either that month, that year, or especially for in sports, that season, especially with track being technically 3 seasons cross country, indoor and outdoor. I only did indoor and outdoor because I high jump, but I made sure I wrote my indoor season goals down as well as my outdoor season's goals down. But it wasn't a general goal. Some of them were detailed goals, like fixing my perch, fixing my stepping. I want to arch a little bit more. I want to eat healthier. I want to make sure that I watch film this time of day, or this amount. But they don't have to be as detailed, but they can. The more you see, the better it is for you, because when you visualize it, or I always think when you think about it and when you speak about it, you'll bring it about. So anything that you're thinking about, okay, well, you're thinking about it, but why don't you start speaking about it and looking at it? And then you will bring it to life, technically. Whatever you want, you can do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you want to do. You can do it. But you have to make sure that you take the steps in order to achieve those goals. Because like I said, nothing's going to be dropped out of the sky and you have wonderful talent. It doesn't work like that. So writing down my goals, and I put them on the back of my door. So every night, especially in a dorm room, maybe you do have a roommate. So put it up on your side of the room or somewhere on your wall. Even like on the ceiling, I know people do, because when they're laying in bed, they wake up. I mean, some people roll over in the first thing, but sometimes when you're laying there, you look at the ceiling and you're like, oh, okay, that's a reminder. You know what? I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to wake up seeing that. And it kind of motivates you. It kind of gets you going during the day. And even when you're having a hard day and you're just like, well, I don't like this is horrible. Like, these goals aren't working. You have to persistently look at them and know that, you know what, this is going to work. And I'm telling you, hands down, hard work does pay off. It may not pay off when you want it to, but it will eventually pay off. And don't give up. Don't ever give up.
I love that. You know, when you talk about one of your goals was, you know, I want to get my approach right. I can testify to seeing you many, many times running your approach on the soccer field. So you don't get any gratification from that, right? You're just running parabolas on the soccer field just to try to get that feel.
Exactly.
So you don't necessarily get the payoff from it, but you're totally immersed in that task.
But mentally, you're getting the payoff of it, because if you're consistently doing something, you're training your brain. Your brain needs to be trained every day. It's not something that, like reading. I'm a horrible reader. I am. That's just me. But I kick ass on the track. I kill it out on the track. But I'm not the best reader. But every day I need to read something in order for my brain to grow. And it relates to sports. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you're bad at, you need to continue to do it to improve it. It's like you weren't jumping. Like for me, I wasn't jumping 6'1" at the age of 8. Like, it's not something that comes right off the bat. You need to gradually train your body physically and mentally to be able to accomplish what you need to accomplish.
Right on. I just want to say that there was a turn on a cross-country course at Big Ten's 2014 that was a parabolic turn that looked like the kind of approach that you would run on the soccer field. And so we called it the Amber Melville turn. Like, you're going to go down this straight, you're going to go down this hill, and then you're going to make the Amber Melville turn, and you're going to So your task focus is something that was really evident and inspiring to all who got to see you in action and all who continue to see you in action.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. But in addition to just your example, the way you live, are there any words of advice you'd like to share with anyone who might be experiencing tough transition right now?
Yeah. Honestly, the simplest thing, don't ever give up. People probably think, you know what, that's such a basic term. Like, people say it all the time. Like, I have my mom say it. My coach always tells it. But you have to really, really think about it to understand don't ever give up. When people say that to you, they're not just saying it just to say it. There's a meaning behind it. You will have challenges in your life. And I mean, I was blessed to not have to go through any injuries in college, but it's not like I never twisted my ankle. There were times I twisted my ankle, and I actually injured my back pretty bad weightlifting in a November before my junior year or senior year. I can't remember which, but I injured it pretty bad, and I couldn't breathe and I could barely walk. And in high jump, you need your back. So I was freaking out, and I mean, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is ridiculous. Like, I need to get back. I need to do this. But patience. You need to know that your time will come. There are obstacles. Like, you have to get through injuries. Every athlete has had an injury. Don't think you're the only one. Whether it's an ACL tear, whether you have a broken bone, it doesn't. The simplest thing, maybe you have shin splints. Something as simple as a shin splint, even though it's not simple, it can be really painful. You can get through it. It's just the matter of you being able to put in the time, you being able to put in the energy to actually get past this, and to not ever giving up, because hard work does pay off. But you have to be willing to get through it, because you could be so low where, like me, I cried every day after practice, not knowing what I was going to do next. It doesn't matter. Like, how am I going to get through this? I feel like no one else is there. But you have to convince yourself. You have to be self-determined. And I don't think enough people are self-determined these days, because they're like, well, you know what? I tried, and you know what? I tried for 2 years. Okay. Well, maybe your third year is going to be your year. You don't know. You have to keep pushing. And there may be a time where you're like, you know what? I really just don't like this. And maybe you don't. And maybe that's not your thing, but you can move on and go to the next thing. Because I know everybody is skilled with anything and everything that they possibly can be skilled with, but maybe that's not this specific thing. Like, for me, I'm not very good at school. I hate school. Like, I never liked school. But with the people that were in my life and the academic enrichment program, it helped me to like school. It helped me to push to go through school. It helped me to read my books. It helped me to study. So don't think that no one is out there to help you. And I was actually extremely stubborn. I am still stubborn this day, because I'm very independent. I don't like people doing things for me. I like to prove that I can do things and I can reach goals and I can get to where I need to be by myself. But there comes a time where you do need to speak to somebody. You may need somebody to help you get through it. They're not there to hinder you. They're only there to help you. And I think a lot of people do have problems with that as well. And it's okay. It's fine. Like, I had a hard time admitting that I did have a problem and I hated school and I didn't want to get through certain things. But having people there to help you get through what you want is really helpful. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I can say? Just remember, you're not the only one that's going through something, and you're not just sitting there and you're like, oh, well, this girl, don't look at other people, only look at yourself, and know what you can accomplish, and stay confident in yourself. Even though I know for a fact, I'm telling you right now, you're going to go through your college career and you're going to feel like you can't get through it. But the feeling when you accomplish something so great, it could make you cry. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. It honestly is the best feeling in the world. And I still haven't accomplished everything I want to in life. And I'm still pushing towards my goals and my dreams. And honestly, right now I am in a slump. I'm not going to lie. And I think people do have a problem with admitting, you know what, I am in a slump, but this is only going to make me learn more about myself and what I need to do in order to accomplish those goals. So the best advice, even though it's maybe the most simple thing, don't ever give up. Don't ever give up.
Right on. Well, I know that you love what you do, and it loves you back, and it shows. And I'm just really delighted to get to talk with you. And I know that people are going to be really grateful to hear from you. And if you want to continue to follow Amber's journey, you can find her on Instagram, right?
Yep, you can find me on Instagram at 20believe16 is my Instagram name, and you can also find me on Facebook. I know Meg is going to have, I'm actually creating a website so that I can give that to her for you guys to look at. But yeah, follow my journey. If you have any questions or if you want to reach out, you can always reach out to me. You're not the only one, like I said before. But yeah.
Well, thank you, Amber.